Welcome back to the Blight Time channel. Today, Tallahassee mountain goats. Wheel, wheel.
I'm hoping for a yikes today.
Careful.
Close.
What do you got? The semi.
This is a good question.
Oh man. Just remember, I was very nice to you with this pick.
I don't think there's
Should lobby
anything.
for you again.
Oh, get out of here. Where did Neil Young? Oh, I moved Neil Young up. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Do we keep with the religious? We could do Cat Stevens. Um.
I know what I want.
What do you want?
I want mountain goats, actually.
Okay. Mountain goats it is.
Let's go. We got a wheel. I guess we had one for Sufjan too. It feels like it's been a long time.
It does. It does. It's a time-honored tradition.
It really is. Yeah, this is your pick. This was a semi-X, right?
It sure was.
Dang.
Yeah. So we did this for really no reason. You just said you wanted to listen to it, and I said sure.
I did.
I don't know much about this. I think it was suggested on a comment that was under the Deer Hunter Act 1 way back in the day. I listened to a couple songs and I'm like, this sounds pretty good. But that was like 2 years ago when that video came out. So I don't remember what this sounds like, but I'm assuming it will be pretty good, hopefully.
Yeah, I know of the mountain goats through very strange means.
Okay.
I listened to a podcast series focused on John Vanderslice, who had an analog recording studio in San Francisco and like a crazy journey in making that a thing.
Okay.
And the mountain goats were tied to him because they recorded at that studio, and I think they did some tours and stuff with them.
Oh, okay.
So I know of them through that. So I've heard John Darnell say things. I've never heard a John Darnell song,
Okay.
but we're changing that today.
So we're both like tangentially interested in what
Yes.
this is. Okay, so interesting. I guess we'll just get started then with the title track, Tallahassee.
Prayers to summon the destroying angel, moon stuttering in the sky like film stuck in a projector, and you there is no plan we can fall back on. The road this far can't be retraced. There is no punchline anybody can tack on. There are loose ends by the score. What did I come down here for? You.
Okay. That was Tallahassee.
Very nice. Yeah, that's one where it's like I'm glad this is like bringing us into an album experience, because I think if this is like in the middle of a record, you can be like, what is happening? Like
Yeah.
there's not like there's not too much of a progression going on, but I do really like the instrumentation. I like that bass line that's just like kind of constantly bringing the track forward.
Yeah.
The recording of everything is just really nice. I love the guitar tones on here. Lyricism wise, he's pretty great. Like a lot of these lines are just like fantastic. But yeah, I love me a good just like kind of strumming along folk song that just like has this very drawn out narrative. I think it
Hmm.
works really well. I mess with it.
Yeah. I think I'm a big fan. I'm maybe the inverse of you, where it's like you like an outro track to be the like the
Hmm.
chill and acoustic one. I don't think it's more effective as an intro, but I really like an acoustic intro
Hmm.
to something to just kind of like ease you in. I was getting some like maybe Death Cab for Cutie or like Two Headed Boy Part 2 vibes from that song, which are very good. So, yeah, I think that it was very, very well done. Very good intro. And I'm excited to see what's coming up next.
Yes, sir.
Track 2 is First Few Desperate Hours.
Bad luck comes in from Tampa. Bad luck comes in from Tampa on the back of a truck, doing 90 up the interstate. We have bad dreams the night he rolls in. We have bad dreams the night he rolls in, and we try to keep our spirits high, but they flag and they wane when the truck pulls up out front in the light spring rain, and they sag like withering flowers. Let the good times roll on through these first few desperate hours.
All right. That was First Few Desperate Hours.
That was really good. I like the driving energy of that one for sure. It felt like
Hmm.
a road trip song, which like played
Yeah.
into the lyrics, but in like an inverse way, kind of, which was really cool. The guitar and the bass working together is really nice too. I know it's like very minimal instrumentation, but like they're working together so well. You're getting like some fantastic bass notes in here.
Hmm.
Yeah, lyrics wise, great. Again, this kind of like relationship that they're like trying to say, but both know it's not going to work, and like this like moving from one area to another, and then just like yeah, tying the road trip kind of sound into that, even though it's like a, it's a thing that both of them know is not going to work. So
Yeah.
it's like an optimistic sounding song, but it's not. But I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. I think I'm starting to get his like lyric style. It's very like
Hmm.
flowery and poetic, which I think is good because we've gotten a lot of like, oh, the relationship is like basically over, but like they don't want to admit it yet. You're slow dancing in a burning room or whatever. But this is like
Hmm.
told in such like a artistic and poetic way that is like very interesting to kind of dig in and unpack, which I'm sure I'll do a whole lot more after this. But
Hmm.
off rip, very, very nice. I'm really liking the sound of this. We do a lot of folk on here. Not a lot of it is just like pure drumless, which the first two have been, and I'm liking it. I'm liking the
Me too.
experimentation. So, big win. We'll move on. Track 3 is Southwood Plantation Road.
Conversations are like minefields. No one's found a safe way through one yet. I spend a lot of money. I buy a white gold. We raise up a little roof against the cold on Southwood Plantation Road, where at night the stars blow like milk across the sky, where the high wires drop, where the fat crows fly.
Ooh, abrupt ending. That was track 3, Southwood Plantation Road.
Yeah, I think this is where the kind of like lo-fi folk neutral milk hotel area kind of enters,
Yeah.
which I enjoy. I love the energy that like is in that genre and just the pure guitar and vocals and like no care about like hitting notes correctly or anything. It's just all energy and it's fantastic. Um, Lyrics wise, this is maybe is like the most condensed but most potent I think of the whole record so far. Even just like the first like I would say the whole first verse is like fantastic. The I've got you, you've got whatever's left of me to get is just fantastic. I love how it's like kind of a more cheery sounding record almost, but it has like this like fake suburban kind of like mask over like the clear relationship issues of like buying each other alcohol and like trying to like go through conversations and not being able to get through on without fighting and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm loving this so far. This is great.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, kind of going back to that suburbia thing, it's like, it's that perfect kind of, oh geez, dichotomy maybe, where it's like you got like the happy sounding music with like this kind of relationship that's falling apart if you're digging into it. Kind of like, you know, there's this plastic exterior and a lot of suburbia and a lot of what's going on behind the scenes is kind of fucked. I really like that this is the concept he's going with. I didn't know, is this a concept album? Because I think this
I
is the
think it
same
is.
characters.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get into that headspace. I just noticed that like as this song started, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is gonna be a whole thing, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to lock in now, and we'll move on. Track 4 is Game Shows Touch Our Lives. It's true, Steve
Steve
Harvey.
Harvey.
Yeah.
Dug up a fifth of Hood River gin. That stuff tastes like medicine, but I'll take it. It'll do. On the couch in the living room all day long. Music on the television playing our song. I'm in the mood for you.
Ooh, fade out.
Yo,
I love that. Oh, not quite.
tasteful.
Tasteful fade out.
It ended.
It ended. All right, that was track 4, Game Shows Touch Our Lives.
That's my favorite one so far. I think by a significant margin, actually.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. The guitar part on that was fantastic, and I was immediately like, "Yep, this is the kind of vibe I'm wanting." I think lyrics-wise, best on the record. This like theme of escapism through alcohol and like TV reality shows and game shows, and just like this idealized like you can win all this money and happiness, and it's the only reason like it's the only time that they're able to like not fight with each other is when they're just like kind of sucked into this like TV program. That kind of fits into the suburbia thing of like this fake mask where everything looks all pretty and white and cool, and then like you get inside the house and it's just like not great.
Yes.
But I think all those themes get wrapped up so well in this track. I think it's fantastic.
I think so too. And I think adding to that, like, you know, they say that like when you go on a game show and if you win a car or something, it's like they're all like, oh yay, I just won a car, and then they get home with the car and then they owe like a bunch of money in
Hmm.
taxes that they can't afford. That's kind of like a perfect kind of analogy for like, oh yay, I'm in a relationship, it's great, and then
Hmm.
down the line it's like, oh, that was like a terrible mistake. Yeah, and I think that that was like perfectly articulated in this song. It's great. Very, very
Great.
nice. All right, track 5. The House That Dripped Blood. Ooh.
Look beyond the broken bottles, past the rotting wooden stairs, root out the wine dark, honeyed center. Not everyone can live like millionaires. Look through the air-thin walls, tear up the floorboards, strip the paint, go over every inch of space with the patience of a saint.
All right. The House That Dripped Blood.
Very good. I'm just like impressed by his lyricism across this whole thing. I think when you do a record like this, where like the production's not like one note, it's just like it sets a tone and it kind of does that. Like instrumentally, it's not like mind blowing, but it gives you like a space to just really dig into his lyrics, which are just fantastic. I love the house metaphor of the house being the relationship and like trying to tear it apart to find like the goodness in there, the cellar door line and everything. I don't know, it's gorgeous. He's doing a fantastic job at like this concept. Like it's not beating you over the head. There's a lot of like really great metaphor and stuff he's using here that is
Hmm.
just like really interesting. It's very poetic and I love it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very unlike most things we do on
Hmm.
this channel. We don't usually do, I don't feel like we do a lot of concept records really.
No.
Maybe the last one was Plastic Beach,
Yeah. At
but
least like a heavy concept record.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's kind of interesting. I feel like I was having a little bit of troubles following what was going on in Plastic Beach. I know there's like a visual element to that too.
There is, yeah.
But this one, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting it, and I'm digging the. It's accessible in its inaccessibility almost, where it
Hmm.
is. You do have to look at the words and try to figure out what they're saying, but I think it's a message that most people can relate to. So it almost makes it kind of circle back around, which is kind of impressive and cool. So big win. Track 6, Idols of the King. Ideals? I don't
I don't know.
know. We'll see.
The shaker. Just what I needed.
There's been some tambourines.
True.
This place, with its old plantations, these roads leading out to the sea. This day, full of promise and potential, more clay pigeons for you and me. all of them, all of them, all of them, all of them, all lined up. Eyes, twin volcanoes, bad ideas, dancing around in there, all of them, 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 all lined up.
He didn't say the thing, so I don't know how to pronounce the title of this track, but it's that
It's true.
track.
Well, this track is fantastic again. I'm really, really enjoying this. I don't know. I'm just like constantly like it's incredibly satisfying the way he does his lyrics. Like they're flowery and poetic, but they're not too far fetched where you can grasp onto them pretty easily and they hit pretty hard. I love that this day full of promise and potential. Mark Clay pigeons for you and me, fantastic. I love the kind of crow references and these kind of omens following them, and like the day might start well, but it's gonna like take a drastic downturn almost immediately, and there's just all these signs everywhere that things are not gonna turn out well. Yeah, I love crow imagery. There's a couple of folk records with crow imagery that I really, I don't know if enjoy is the right
Oh,
word,
really?
but I have some experience with that kind of imagery, and I really enjoy that kind of smart storytelling. But I don't know. The writing is just fantastic, and the instrumental is great on this one too. I love the kind of almost chill, relaxing, almost beach-like atmosphere, and it's like it still captures a melancholy, but it's like kind of funny the first time you hear it, and then by the end of the song, it's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. When that marimba comes in, it sounds like a
yeah,
Jimmy Buffett song or something.
yeah, but fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Really, really good. Yeah, I don't know. This is like, it sounds so cheery, but it really is not. um, I don't know. I don't know if I have a whole lot more to add from what you said, but yeah, very, very good. I'm in it 100%. So I'm excited to hear the hit. No
Oh my
children.
god, yeah, got more plays than everything combined.
I know.
I hope that our few remaining friends give up on trying to save us. I hope we come up with a fail-safe plot to piss off the dumb few that forgave us. I hope the fences we mended fall down beneath their own weight, and I hope we hang on past the last exit. I hope it's already too late, and I hope the junkyard a few blocks from here someday burns down, and I hope the rising black smoke carries me far away, and I never come back to this town again. In my life, I hope I lie and tell everyone you were a good wife, and I hope you die. I hope we both die.
All right. That was No Children.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think this is their most popular song. Seems like it.
Ever?
I think so.
Oh.
It's apparently used in Moral Oral as well,
Oh, my
which
favorite.
I think there's
film.
another song on this record that does that too. Yeah, I think this is like a very incendiary, like straightforward track. I think it works really well.
Yeah.
The idea of just like this is so far beyond repair that it's almost freeing to just say like whatever, like just have the worst thing ever happen to me. Nothing can phase me at this point. I just want all of this gone. And I think it works well. I think it being like the exact halfway point in the record too might be a little significant
Yeah.
going forward, because this seems like a straight to the punch kind of like no flowery language. It's like this is the narrative of the song. But yeah, the driving energy and stuff is still fun. I like it.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I love that it kind of switched up. And I know we've been praising the flowery language, but man, it does feel kind of good just to switch up and just say, "I hope
Hmm.
you die." And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, it's simple. I like that. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if this is like the kind of like turning point where maybe the relationship kind of ends, and because it kind of sounds like it's going that direction. So
I mean, yeah, I would have been done with it by now.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Like,
Mr.
yeah,
Perfect over here.
yeah, yeah.
Very emotionally mature, this guy. That's what we all
Mm-hmm.
know about Babby.
Yep, it's my job.
All right. Um, uh, no, we probably won't do a twofer. See America Right. It's track 8.
I was driving up from Tampa when the radio
Drums.
burst. I was 3 sheets to the wind. A civilian saw me first. And then there was the cop. And then the children standing on the corner. Your love is like a cyclone in a swamp. And the weather's getting warmer. I was getting out of jail. Heading to the Greyhound. You said you'd hop on one yourself and meet me on the way down. I was shaking way too hard to think. Dead on my feet, about to drop. When it got a case of vodka from the car and walked the 2 miles to the bus stop.
Ooh, that was See America Right.
Right? Yeah, I like that one. I like the energy carrying forward too. Like there's a lot more rock influenced on this one.
Yeah.
More garagey, more lo-fi. I enjoyed that production quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. This song just like it felt like Trailer Park Boys to me. I don't know why. Just like this kind of like trashy, drunken, drunk driving, like destructive anthem, and it had like some kind of charm to it like that. I don't know. That's the visual I got for this thing. So.
It wasn't like some dude getting on a bus and gonna, you
No.
know, leave his relationship. That's kind of the vibe I got. I don't know. Like, pack up your bags. I'm going on a Greyhound and I'm gonna go to LA, see the world. It was nice. I liked it. It was a good switch up. I think if it was a whole album of how the first part of the album sounded, it would have gotten old. So I appreciate the switch up.
Hmm.
But we'll move on. Track 9 is Peacocks.
I hear them squeal. I see them preen. Fans all spread out, neat and clean.
All right, that was Peacocks.
Very nice. I think instrumentally, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the way that one sounded. Um, lyrics wise, again, like bringing in the bird imagery again. Everything is just so locked tight in this concept, which is great. Yeah, I don't know if I have too much to say about it, but I really enjoyed just the sound of that one.
Yeah, yeah, it was really great. Had like a lot of like soft rock or like rhythm and blues
Hmm.
influence, which I am a big fan of. So, yeah, I would say that's probably one of my favorite sounding ones. I want to say short and sweet because it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to it. There's not a lot of lyrics. A lot of it's
Hmm.
just riding the vibe out, which I can appreciate. Very, very nice.
Real
All right, track 10 is International Small Arms Traffic Blues.
catchy.
Very catchy. I can see why this song was the second most popular.
My love is like a powder keg. My love is like a powder keg in the corner of an empty warehouse, somewhere just outside of town, about to burn down. My love is like a Cuban plane. My love is like a Cuban plane flying from Havana up the Florida coast to the Glades, Soviet made.
All right, that was International Small Arms Traffic Blues.
Very nice. It was indeed 12 bar blues, and it was indeed about international small arms trafficking. He hit the nail on the head. This one's really great. I love the metaphor of like I love you, but at the same time, like we are in the Cuban Missile Crisis right now, and if there's any like one thing that's gonna happen, we're all just dead.
Yep.
This just kind of like blowing up the situation in that way is comical, but also makes fun. It fits narratively, and it works really well, and it's a really nice kind of storytelling element that is not one you often see,
No.
especially the specifics of the Greek Albanian border.
I know. It felt like we were listening to System of a Down again, where it's like
Yeah.
super specific on what they're referencing. Yeah, but I like that one too. Yeah, I don't know if I have like a whole lot to say about it. It's pretty. I feel like I said that about the last one. But yeah, I don't know. Really, really somber and like chill. I don't know. Perfect. I love that. So big win. Track 11. Have to explode.
Tile floor of the bathroom, scrubbed clean and bright, checkerboard white and gray. Towels from the Ritz, Carlton Hotel in Kingston, Jamaica. I can still see the rust-colored stains today. The stage is set. Someone's gonna do something someone else will regret.
right, that was Have to Explode.
Fantastic. I like that one a lot. I think it's kind of a continuation of the last track, at least narratively, it seems. I
Yeah.
like the metaphor being carried over. Yeah, I don't know. There's something so somber and like tired about this one, which I think fits into like, eventually this thing is going to end. And I think we're hitting that point where like the music does sound like it's like, okay, I'm even tired of singing about this and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
But it's still fresh. It's still great. I think the lyrics are still fantastic. I love the I speak in smoke signals and you answer in code line. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, I love that one actually.
Yeah, I think it's an important note that yes, he sounds like somber and tired, but the music doesn't sound tired, where it's like, oh, it's the same thing over and over again. Even though instrumentally it doesn't sound that much different, like they're doing different things. And I loved that kind of introduction of the piano at the very end. It was very high keys, very haunting. Very, very, very good. Yeah. Track 12, Old College Try.
From the housetops to the gutters, from the ocean to the shore, the warning signs have all been bright and garish, far too great in number to ignore. From the cities to the swamplands, from the highways to the hills, our love has never had a leg to stand on. From the aspirins to the crosstops to the Ellavilles, but I will walk down to the end with you, if you will come all the way down with me.
All right. That was Old College Try. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
There we are. That was Old
pretty good.
College Try.
Yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah, it's interesting that this record has a concept and it's not like the most grand concept in the world, but he's still bringing new ideas to it, and I just think the way he does his lyricism makes it interesting still, even though we're getting almost the same content in like multiple of these tracks.
Yeah.
Which I mean still makes sense in the narrative. Like you're gonna have good times and then spiral back into it. There haven't been too many good times on this record, but there's definitely been times that are worse than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the song works really well. I love the keyboards. Adds a different element to it to kind of switch it up a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very nice. That one feels like another kind of accessible hit, or it could be. Even though the lyrics aren't super accessible like they were in No Children. But yeah, I think that one's very, very good. I'm excited to see how this ish closes out. I want to see these people break up. That's pretty much what I want to see. So I guess we'll see if that happens in track 13, Oceanographers Choice. Sequel to Sophie's Choice.
Of course.
Well, guy in a skeleton costume comes up to the guy in the Superman suit, runs through him with a broadsword,
Drums.
and flip the television on.
Finally. We did it.
Bring all the bright lights up, turn the radio up loud. I don't know why I'm so persuaded, I think things through long enough and hard enough, I'll somehow get to you. But then you came in and we locked eyes. You kicked the ashtray over as we came toward each other. I stuck my cigarette out against the west wall. Quickly lit another. Look at that. Would you look at that? We're throwing off sparks. What will I do when I don't have you to hold on to in the dark?
All right, that was Oceanographers Choice.
Very good. That felt significant. The whole song felt very different than the rest of the record.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I love the progression. We actually had like a real like nice progression throughout the track going. The energy was building, which was fantastic.
Yes.
Incredibly toxic. I think this is like the big tipping point. Just like incredibly toxic lyrics. I love this kind of idea of them like feeling each other in toxicity and like I hate you so much, but I need to be with you. And the
Yeah.
whole ending line of like, well, I do when I don't have you, when I finally get what I deserve. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. The narrative of this record is so like Loctite. It's great.
Yes. Please tell me that the next track they break up. That's all I
I
want.
would imagine so.
I hope so. Yeah, because that was like kind of, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily like hard to listen to, but man, it's like messed up a little bit, the concept of it. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. It brought some energy to it right as we're about to end, which I think is an interesting choice, I guess. A little shot in the arm on your way out. So I don't know. Liked it quite a bit. Let's just finish this ish out with track 14, Alpha Rat's Nest.
Is our
I prefer the Sigma Rat's Nest.
Are the lengthening hours in the refinery, belching fire into the sky? We do our best vampire routines as we suck the dying hours dry. The night is lovely as a rose. If I see sunlight hit you, I am sure that we'll both decompose. Are the fitful sleep and the fire engines that I dream of when I dream someday we'll both wake up for good? I will try hard not to scream. The evening wind will shake the blind.
All right, that was Alpha Rat's Nest and the album as a whole.
perfect closer. Yeah. House burns down. The end. We did it. I think that's a good wrap up actually, because like I think a lot of lyrics kind of point towards like this inevitable like, however this thing happens of them like parting from each other, but at the end it's just like that the house metaphors that they were using and everything kind of ties into this like the house burns down with them in it, and that just wraps everything up really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this incredibly toxic and like feeding into toxicity relationship across the record. Yeah, the record as a whole is really, really, really good. Narratively, fantastic. Lyrically, fantastic. I think it's easy to follow along with. The lyrics are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
The songs are varied enough where it doesn't get too stale or boring. And at the same time, it's still pretty easy listening. So,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was a pretty G dang good closer too. Again, doing that thing. Song sounds happy, but they're dying. So, is it really happy, or is it a good thing? Hard to say. Hard to say. I guess that is a philosophical debate that we can save for later. But the album as a whole, I think, is very, very, very good. I'm excited to listen through this all the way because this definitely, and I feel like this is true with most concept records, it's like not intended for you to stop after every single track because it almost feels like it's one big song because it like the topics that they're covering aren't a whole lot different from between the songs. I feel like it'll work much better as one whole piece than as individual songs. So we will be reporting on that when we do our retrospective, of course. But off rip, I really, really liked it. Sounded great. I loved the stripped back acoustic vibe and then punching that up with the drums and electric guitars when needed. I thought him as a vocalist was also kind of quirky and interesting, which I'm down for. And his lyrics were phenomenal. So, really, there's not a whole lot to complain about. So, big win for music lovers everywhere. So, so now,
Real.
so now we'll move on. What are we going to be doing next, Babby?
No wheel. Well, kind of wheel. Where we each get a freebie week.
What?
'Cause there's a record I need to do to continue on with my life, and I feel like we need to do that here. And it's coming up on the exact 1 year anniversary of when we did the first record. So
Oh,
we're sticking in the mountain area too, because we're gonna do Mount Erie by the Microphones next week. That's my pick.
all right.
And then Jerry will get to pick whatever album he wants to listen to the following week. And then we'll be back to the wheel. Don't worry. I hear you. People, Cure's next on my list after this. So
Okay.
be warned. But yeah, I'm excited. This is a direct sequel to Glow Part 2. So
Oh,
watch our Glow Part 2 reaction. Get that in, and then we'll have this next week. So very excited, but that's what we're doing.
all right. Perfect. I'll have to listen to that album again, too. It's been a hot minute. And it's been scaring me ever since we listened to that album. I'm like,
It still scares me, and I've listened to it dozens of times.
it's so intimidating. But I will do it for the good of the channel and the love of the game.
Real.
So, that does it. I'll decide what I'm going to pick next week, so you'll hear it then. In the meantime, check out our podcast. We cover all sorts of things, mostly films and music. Sometimes we talk about games, though, like
Cool.
our hit video for Cyberpunk 2077. Probably my favorite thing that we have ever made as artists.
It was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. So check that out. Other than that, that's all I have got.
Me too. Bye.